Good morning. Thank you for being with us for this month's What's That? We're recording this session, so it'll be available on our website at a later date. My name is Nancy Rinaldi. I'm the director of the Community Outreach Program here at Easter Seals, and I'm coming to you from our Resource and Technology Demonstration Center. Today, we're going to talk about some assistive technology for dementia, but assistive technology is just one of the facets of our caregiver supports. We have our Caregiver Resource Center, where we have 2 case managers who can answer questions that you have about resources in the community, whether it be Easter Seals or any other resources. We're happy to answer. We will be putting their contact information in the chat for you. We also have a respite grant funding program, and respite is just a way for caregivers to get a break. So just some time to yourself to do whatever it is that helps you rejuvenate so you can come back and be a better caregiver. Maybe not a better caregiver, still a good caregiver. And then we have our assistive technology. And so we're going to have, I guess I should say disclaimer first. We don't sell anything out of the Resource Center. We don't get any kickbacks from any of the equipment that I show you. And we're not endorsing anything in particular. Today we want to just show you some of the things that are out there that might be available, that might be interesting to you as a caregiver for someone with dementia. We have a real short time period today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some things, and then at the end, we'll use some time for question and answers. But feel free to put any questions that you have in the chat box. We have somebody monitoring that. If you want a link for any of the things that we're showing you, we'll also put that in the chat box. So let's get started. So one of the things that people typically think about for someone with dementia is memory issues. So of course, that can be a problem. So one of the things that might be helpful is if someone still has a landline. This is an example of a phone that has pictures for the speed dial. So instead of the person having to remember that speed dial 1 is my daughter at work, you can have a picture of her daughter at work as speed dial 1 and her son at home, or whatever it might be. And that way, all they have to do is push the picture of that person, and the phone will ring. Another thing that people find difficult is medication. And sometimes as a caregiver, you may be calling your loved one several times during the day to say, Mom, remember to take your 9 o'clock meds, remember to take your 12 o'clock meds. Well, this is an example of a system that you can fill this up for 4 different times during the day, put it next to this reminder, and when it's time to take the medication, the alarm will go off.
Off.
Well, it'll sound like this.
Good afternoon. The time is 12:33 p.m. Thursday, February 15th.
But it'll give you the right time. So you get the idea, but that can help somebody independently take their medication, and then you're not having to call them. Another option might be something a little bit more that somebody might need a little bit more help with. This one is called the dose alert. And so what it will do, you can set it for different times during the day. And when it's time to take the medication, there'll be a reminder, the person turns it over, the medication comes out, and they're able to take it, and then it closes again. And it'll stay open for maybe like 10 or 15 minutes until they take the medication, then it closes. And if you have it set up, the caregiver can get a reminder to say, so-and-so didn't take the medication for 10:15 on Thursday. And so then you can follow up with your loved one and say, hey, Mom, did you forget to take your medicine, or whatever it might be. So that's just another example of a medication reminder. Something else that's kind of cool, you may have heard of Tile or AirTags. This is one that's called Orbit. And so losing or misplacing keys or your wallet or your phone can be an issue. So I'm going to show you. Here we have keys with the little Orbit tag on it, and I have my phone attached to that. So I'm going to say, if I can't find my keys, I'm going to use this one. And you can hear it's ringing, and I can walk around the house and listen for that and find it. And you can also do that. There's a flat one that you can put in a wallet or in your purse again. And the other thing that's kind of cool is if you're missing your phone and you have your purse, you can use this. You should be able to. Now I just found my phone by using this Orbit. So lots of different things that might be useful for someone with memory issues. Another thing, people don't often think that dementia comes with sequencing issues or dexterity issues, but it really can. So I want to show you just a couple things, versions of adapted clothing. So these are some pants that at the top, it has magnets and Velcro. And so somebody doesn't have to remember how to do a button, how to do a zipper. It's as simple as pulling this apart and then putting it back together. And so that may mean, you might have a loved one who got dressed up for work every day. And so for them to be wearing sweatpants every day because they can't do buttons and zippers, that might not sit well with them. And you might see some agitation where maybe if they can wear some pants that make them feel like they did previously, it might be beneficial. And this particular pair of pants also has an opening at the bottom. So if somebody needed to wear a brace, if they had a leg bag, these can be used for that as well. These are Tommy Hilfiger, but there's other places that do adapted clothing. I believe Kohl's, Target, JCPenney. You can go on their websites and put in Kohl's adapted clothing, and it'll take you to a section for adapted clothing. But we're happy to send links. If you have questions about things, we're happy to send links. Another example, this is a shoe that the heel opens. And so then when the person steps in, it closes. And so instead of having to bend down, tie the shoe, this could be an option for that person. And one other thing, this one's kind of cool. This is a jacket that the bottom has magnets. So I know we all kind of struggle with getting that zipper started. And this just pops in and then you can zip. So there's no struggling with trying to see how do I get the two pieces together. It's just a magnet and they come together. One other thing with closing, and this doesn't necessarily have to do with dexterity as much as fidgeting. So oftentimes people with dementia need something to do with their hands. So one of the things they sometimes do is play with the buttons and things on the front of their shirt. And that could result in undressing at inappropriate times. So this shirt looks like a regular shirt, but it Velcros in the back. And so you can help the person get it on, but they're not going to be able to independently get it off or get it off when you really don't want them to. And so that's another option. So when we talk about, again, some of the fidgeting or the agitation that somebody might have, this is an example of just a mat. It's actually a weighted mat. It's a little bit heavy, but you can put that on somebody's lap and just sort of let them move their hands back and forth across the gel. It's actually very relaxing. I have it on the desk sometimes, and when you're talking to people, they're just sort of playing with it because it feels so good. And having something weighted on their lap may help with some of that agitation or walking around. Similarly, this is just a mitt that has some fidget things with it. So it's got some beads you can play with, a little basket that makes noise, some ribbons. Inside, there's a little fidget toy that they can play with. So all different kinds of things. It's nice and warm. They can put their hands in it and have it on their lap. So it's just something additional to help with some of that kind of extra energy that somebody might have. This is an example when we were talking about memory. I should have shown you this. But sometimes people will say, what time's dinner? What time's dinner? What time's dinner? And you'll say it's 15 minutes. And then they'll ask you again and you'll say it's 15 minutes. So this might be, this is called a time timer. So you could set this for 15 minutes. And then when they say, what time is dinner? You could say when the red goes away or when the alarm goes off, and then give that to them and let them sort of look at that and manage that. And then when it goes off, they'll hear that beep and then they'll be able to come in and say, is dinner ready? And then as we look at, when we're talking about mealtime, so this is an example of just a placemat. So oftentimes people want to feel helpful. They want to feel like they're still important to the family. And so you might be able to use something like this if your mom comes in and wants to help with dinner and maybe she can't peel the potatoes anymore, or maybe she can't cook the spaghetti, you could have her set the table. And if you use something like this, she can match up, where does the fork go? Where does the napkin go? Where does the plate go? And that will help. That can help keep her busy, but also do something that gives the caregiver a little bit of a break. Also with eating, this is an example of a red plate and a red fork or red spoon. So there have been some studies that have shown using red tableware for people with dementia can help encourage eating. So if you think about some of the things that older people eat, white rice, mashed potatoes, chicken, they're not going to show up very well on a white plate. So in a red plate, they're really going to show up well. And then a couple things, this has a bigger grip, so sometimes that's better for somebody who might have some arthritis in addition to their dementia. And then this is also a scoop, so the person can scoop against here so that the food is not going all over the place. And then I guess I just have one more thing to show you. So this is kind of cool. This is a little dog, and lots of people have had pets all their lives, and then as they get older, they're not able to take care of the pet, but they really enjoy having a pet around. And you can see I'm just playing with this pet because it's sitting here. So this dog is pretty lifelike. So you can see it moving, trying to get it so you can hear. And so it can sit on the person's lap, they can pet it, it's gonna, if it's a cat, it's gonna purr, if it's a dog, it's gonna like that you're petting it, that it's sitting in your lap. So this is just another kind of example of something that you can use to help that person with dementia. We have, there's so much that we can show you. We've set up these workshops for the third Thursday of every month, so feel free to drop in and see what else we have coming, or you can look online and see what the next scheduled ones are, because maybe there's certain ones that are appropriate for you or your loved one. We are happy to have you come in and do a tour. You can give us a call or an email and we'll do a tour. We can actually even set up a virtual tour. So if you're a caregiver and your loved one can't make it in with you, let us know and we can schedule a tour and you can do the virtual tour with your loved one from their home. So you can contact us at resources@esdel.org, or you can give us a call at 302-221. We got a new number now, 2291, I think it is. And we are happy to help. So I hope we'll see you next week or next month when we talk about assistive technology for people with brain injury. Thank you for being here and have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day.